Hello, darlings. I'm here to talk about sensitivity as a superpower. Especially if you're highly or extremely sensitive, you have a superpower. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So you may have clicked on this video because you suspect that you are a highly sensitive person, or you know that you're a highly sensitive person, or you don't think that highly sensitive people are real, or we're just weird and too sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? It's like, it seems like a bad thing in the culture that I grew up in. But like any way that you're wired, it is what you make of it. So for me, that is how I can feel into very subtle differences of different people and do my best to embody them, to empathize, to feel what it's like to be human differently. Yeah, it's entirely how I'm able to be an artist of many different forms. It's how I can tune into a room and know, or tune into a person and know what they need me to be in that moment. It's how when I make these videos, I feel you, and I do mean you specifically. You, not the general, yous all ears, all y'all. Okay, I love that term, all y'all. And I do mean all y'all, but I mean all you, personally. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience. This is a term that was coined by Elaine Aron and her husband, I believe, but she's the one who's done the most work on it. So there's a lot of stuff now. It's been around for a while. And I'm not really a labels person. I tend, I make a lot of videos that I don't qualify, like I'm a this and a that and a that and the other thing. Because we got enough left brain in our society that I don't think we really need more of it. And because what I want to cultivate in y'all, or who I'm speaking to, I suppose, is people who are willing to and who like to feel how something resonates in you, to feel whether you dig it or not. Not because of my credential. So please, in life, just because someone says they're an expert on whatever, if it does not feel right for you, if you do not feel safe, walk out of that room, turn it off, listen, but then no. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can leave. I'm saying that because I recently had a awful experience in the medical system, and I know I have it easy in the medical system as a white cis het person, and even so, I was so gaslit, and I could have walked out of there, and I didn't realize it until afterward. I was like, why did I stay? Anyway, because here's why that makes sense for this topic. Because sometimes when I'm in a mode where I'm very sensitive, and right now there are a lot of solar flares and things, or if somebody is undermining you or gaslighting you, I've built ways to be able to handle that, and sometimes it's really great. Sometimes you've been there for 4 hours and you have to pee, and it's like you're hungry, and your blood sugar is just gone, and it's harder to know what's going on. And so I've shared many different ways, but I've developed ways to be able to handle that state of being and still do what I need to do and be who I need to be in that moment. So I've shared different things about calming your nervous system and placing a hand on your solar plexus here and different things. I won't get too much into that because I've already shared that. But I want to say, if you are somebody who is sensitive, it'll probably come in waves. For me, I'll just share my experience. It might be very different for different people. So I'll just share my experience. For me, it comes in waves. And it took me a long time to kind of realize that and to know that there are certain waves that are really predictable, like the seasons. When it turns to start getting colder, it's really hard. my spine just goes, and then it's like I'm already a little bit on edge, and I have to remind myself, stay warm. I have a very particular digestive system, so I need to have certain kinds of fuel, and I need them fairly frequently. So I travel with them, just in case I can't find something that I can have a little bit of a particular protein bar or a little bit of fruit or some nuts or something that's gonna get my blood sugar here so that I can make the decisions I need to make. And, especially when I'm traveling with other people, because other people can eat lots more stuff than I can eat. And so it might take people a while to figure out what to eat. And so I just bring stuff, and I just don't care that that's weird. I'm used to being weird. So there are certain cycles that are easier to predict, like seasons, like times that I'll be hungry, like weather, like, hey, it might be extra air conditioned in that place, so I will bring a coat and put it on inside, even though it's the summer, because I need to not be too cold. And that's fine. That's totally fine. And then there are other cycles that I've learned to track a little bit better. I know that Sundays for me are I'm really receptive. It's the time to get a lot of information. Also sometimes Fridays. So I plan my schedule that Sunday mornings, that's me time. And I'm going to be in that receptive space, and I will utilize that receptive space to be out there in the cosmos, getting new, receiving new information, receiving insights about myself personally. Sometimes there's something specific that I know I need to open to or listen to or feel into or practice, and so I'll do that. And if I can take most of Sunday, it's better, because that really feeds me and it juices me up, so that in the week, as I'm doing more and interacting with a lot more people, I need to be really more focused on output. I know that I've had that really receptive time to kind of recharge and just do the comforty things. So yeah, I said a little about how my sensitivity shows up. Perhaps you've heard of people being clairvoyant or clairaudient, clairsentient. So clairvoyant, you see things that are more than just what we see. I will see flows of energy. Sometimes I'll see an image that has to do with something that a person needs to hear, or that I need to understand about what's going on. I've also mentioned I'll see and experience things from multiple lives of my fractal, of my life fractal. So, I'll see kind of overlays, but I'll also see energy patterns. I'll also see how sound works. And it's super helpful. It's really, really cool. And that's been getting sharper and sharper and sharper the more I pay attention to it and the more I voice those things. And sometimes it like, if I mention it to a person, sometimes it just like is so clear and they know what that means, even if I don't know what that means. And then there's clairaudient, hearing things. I definitely hear lots of things. So for me, maybe I'll hear my brother who's in the ancestral realm, or I'll hear, there are many different kinds of beings, or for me, my internal guidance, or the spiritual guidance, you could say, or the voice of divine or God, or however you experience different layers of awareness, including the largest layers of awareness. Those I often hear. Sometimes I'll see it's sometimes it's a little interesting to divide them up, because I'll often get like I'll know something, which is what is it? Clairsentient is feeling. I definitely will feel things. I can tell if something's discordant, we'll say. Do a whole video on that. But sometimes you can just feel, there's some energy here. There's some ancestral pain here that needs to transmute. And then I will just know what to do. So that's that clear knowing. I'm blanking on that term. Sentient, audience. Somebody's like, knows exactly what it is. I always think clairgnostic, but that's not it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what the term is, but when you just know something, you just know something, which is sometimes something will happen and I'll just know what needs to be done, and I'll do it because I'm there and I know how to show up for whatever needs to happen in that space and that time with whoever's there. Yeah, so those are all really, really helpful superpowers, to be honest. And they guide me through life. When I know that I need to do something, like I was not planning to make this video. I've been thinking about making this video for a long time. There have been times when I thought maybe tomorrow is going to be the day that I make this video, and I just can feel that it's not, and so I don't do it. And if I was to go against that and do it, it would suck. It would take a long time. It would not be clear. It would not be what it needs to be. That said, I do collaborate on many things, and so sometimes you do something because you have to. But it tends to be that the more I listen to where I have flexibility within those parameters, the more I listen to that and trust flow is here, then there, then there. It's just a lot more efficient and a lot more clear. And then I can trust, okay, I know that I was feeling that. So I don't need to go all perfectionist and figure out why, because I'm never going to know why. I'm never going to know exactly what this is for the people who see it. And frankly, it's okay if the things that I'm saying for people are like really triggering and like, what are you talking about? That's not real. Real is this desk. Real is your hair. Whatever. Or like, you're just weird. Whatever people need to say, man, I'm just like, it's okay. I can take it. You can project it on me, and I'm not going to get confused and think that it's about me, because it's about whatever's happening inside you that just needs to get out, and that's okay. And if you look at the comments on any of my stuff, you'll see people who really resonate and people who just need to project something at me, and I understand. It used to be really hard. And then I realized, oh, it's actually not about me. They don't actually know me. They're just projecting stuff. So it's okay. This is going to be whatever it needs to be. And if it's bringing something up for you that you're not comfortable with, it could be a lot more interesting, rather than firing off a comment, it could be a lot more interesting to go to your own journal or a piece of paper and just inquire as to why. Why is that? And whatever you're feeling right now, even if it's like, yes, finally, I'm not the only weird one, I would still say, notice what you're feeling right now. You don't have to, don't do it because I said. There's an opportunity to notice what you're feeling, to trust what you're feeling, to maybe even inquire, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? And just let it write if you like writing, or do a voice memo if you like just talking it out. But do something other than think about it in loops, because once it's in form, even if that's audio form, written form is great because you can see it. But if you're just like, I can't do the writing thing, fine. I often do voice notes. And then you can listen back and reflect and hear for yourself, and something will unwind that is why you clicked on this video, and it's why you got this far. And whatever unwinds could be very powerful. this is a time when a lot of energy is coming from our solar flares, from the sun. This is science. I'm not making this up. You can go on spaceweather.com. It's literal science. That's energy, okay? So you don't have to decide what that is to know that there is a lot of energy that comes to us when we have these exponential solar flares. And if we're not used to that, then our body is going to feel things. So if you're having headaches, if you're having digestive sensitivity, if you're having just like, I don't know what's going on, maybe there's a solar flare happening right then. It's really interesting, actually. They have an app. You can get the notifications, and it's been so helpful to just go, oh, that's why. Good. That's why my husband and I just were like needed to cuddle on the couch for 2 hours because like that was an X-class flare and that was intense, you know? And then you can come through that and notice, oh wow, I can actually see and clear and hear and know even more clearly now that my body has integrated that amount of energy. When you take the time to do that self-inquiry of, okay, what's happening and why? Anyway, all this, I always just share to take or leave whatever is helpful to you. Take it, turn it into what you need. But I'm sharing to let you know that you are not alone. And you're also not alone if you're like, what are you talking about, sensitive? I don't hear anything other than what people say. I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. I haven't cried in 25 years. That's okay. You're not alone either. Sometimes we get so much ahead of ourselves in our brain that we don't pause to notice the other ways that we're aware of things. And I found it very powerful to pause and intentionally write down, what am I feeling in my body? What are the sensations? Where do I feel them? What are emotions that I'm feeling? What images are coming up for me? What meaning did I make out of that? Okay, what do I feel like I should do? Do I feel like I need to run right now? Am I tense right now? Do I feel elated or happy or open right now? Just starting to notice some of the other ways that we are intelligent, other than just words and labels and things. And starting to feel and notice, oh, I can actually sense quite a bit. It's interesting, actually. And I love it. So it's also just really fun to feel, if you watch any of my videos, you'll also see I'm doing a lot of this, aren't I? Any of my videos about how I find my way into a character or into an accent, that is how. If I didn't take care of my sensitivity, if I didn't let it be okay that I am, and I know how to power through. I have been in some intense places. I have, pushed myself hard. I've fasted for days. I've done no water, food, or light for days. I've done many different things to test. Like I actually have, even though I'm super sensitive, I have a low pain threshold, but I have a high tolerance. And so I've done many different things, but at the same time, I've gotten some really good advice, like from an Ayurvedic healer who was really supportive, to say, hey, if you don't take care of that system, you could burn, you could blunt, and fry out. And so when I just let it be okay and I take care, then that's available to me to feel into different things. So you don't have to be an artist to notice that there are different times when you're feeling sensitivity. If you're someone who has a menstrual cycle, you might notice there are certain times of your cycle that you have certain sensitivity. Or if you're someone who has a job away from home, you might notice, or anywhere, you might notice, boy, after work, there's an hour where I just don't want to see anybody. I just want to be in my little cave, and that's a time when you're being more sensitive because you've had all this input. Okay? So it doesn't have to be anything big and dramatic and all that. All right. I love you. Share your thoughts, feelings, support other people who are on this chat, on this journey. I'm sending you so much love. Stay sensitive, okay? It's a superpower. All right.